The duffel bag on the road. It was just a few weeks ago. I found myself driving in the middle of nowhere, navigating a long, desolate country road. The night was pitch black, and the only light came from the headlights of my car, casting eerie shadows across the endless fields surrounding us. Next to me, my wife was fast asleep, oblivious to the growing tension I felt. In the back seat, my teenage daughters were engrossed in a movie on their tablets while my toddler was happily playing with his toys. It was around 1 a.m., and though everything seemed peaceful inside the car, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The road stretched on forever. A narrow dirt path, riddled with potholes, forced me to slow down and weave carefully, trying to avoid any damage to the car. But something kept nagging at me: the isolation, the complete darkness outside. It made my skin crawl. Then, I saw it. A duffel bag, right in the middle of the road, just ahead of me. I squinted through the windshield, trying to make sense of it. Who leaves a bag like that on an empty road in the dead of night? As I slowed down to stop, I noticed something even stranger. Another car, parked on the opposite side of the road, facing us. But this car had no lights on. No headlights, no interior light, nothing. It sat there, motionless, as if it had been abandoned. My first instinct was to get out of the car and move the bag out of the way. But then I felt my wife's hand gripping mine, snapping me back to the present. "Look, over there," she whispered, pointing out of the window. I followed her gaze. That's when I saw him. A man stood in the field just off to the right of the road. He was far enough away that I almost didn't notice him at first. He kept glancing at his phone, the faint glow illuminating his face in the darkness. That was the only reason my wife saw him in the first place. Chills ran down my spine. Something was very wrong. I turned the car around, trying to leave as quickly as possible. But just as I was about to drive off, two people jumped out from the field and stood directly in front of my car. There was no space to get around them without hitting them. Now, I was trapped. Two people in front of me, the duffel bag and the strange car behind me. The man with the phone still lurking in the field, occasionally glancing up at us. My mind raced, trying to figure out what to do. The air inside the car felt thick, people with tension. I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. There was only one thing I could think of. I turned the car around again, facing the duffel bag and the parked car in front of us. I had no choice. I hit the gas and drove straight over the bag. The car jolted, and for a split second, I braced myself, wondering if something inside it would damage the tires or worse. But to my relief, there was nothing inside it, just an empty bag. I didn't stop to look back. We kept driving, leaving the strange figures and their trap behind us. My wife stayed quiet, her grip still tight on my hand. My daughters didn't notice a thing. By the time we arrived at my friend's house, the tension had melted away. We had a great time, and for the rest of the night, everything felt normal again. But still, whenever I think about that road, those people in the field, I get chills. Whoever they were, whatever their intentions, I hope we never meet again.